everybody, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small, and today we're going to be doing a sponsored look at some new terrain. This is MDF cut and pre-painted terrain from the Laser Terrain Co. So that's Laser Terrain Co. C-O. They're going to be having an upcoming Kickstarter at the time when I'm filming this. It may have already started by the time that this airs. But they sent me several sets to review. The set you see in front of you right now is their building set, which includes 5 buildings, as you see in front of you. We have 1 large, 2 medium, and 2 small buildings. Now, I have built MDF terrain before, and I have played with it, and I like it. I find it's pretty cool. And I really like this set for a couple of reasons, and we'll go over it as we take a look at the individual pieces. So before we look at the individual buildings, though, I just wanted you to see the overview. And I haven't built these all exactly to the specifications in the instructions, or you know, how it looks in the instructions, on purpose, because I wanted to give myself some ability to shake things up and change it. And that's one of the beauties of MDF terrain like this. Assembling it through the instructions is just one way to do it. You have a lot of leeway to be able to create and build things the way you want to as well. Alright, so let's take a look at these buildings. We'll go ahead and start with the small one first. Alright, so here are the 2 small buildings. Construction wise, they're identical. However, some of the MDF detailing parts are different colors. So we have like orange over here, and on here it's a cool dark green. So there is some variation, even though the kits themselves are identical in how they assemble. The other thing is that you can again build them kind of in different ways. Here I have these really cool, you know, kind of porches with ladders to get up to the door. And they're designed to actually lock into the building if you want them to. I actually like the ability to play with the building and not necessarily commit myself to having that glued in. And you could actually slot it in if you wanted to make it a little bit more secure. The other thing is there are these covers. So all the buildings have areas where you could do covers or not. So I chose not to do it on that building, just to have some variation. So this building has 1 door and then a couple of windows. All of the buildings are accessible via ladder, the roof, and through the door. Now the cool thing here is that you can lift these out. You don't have to glue the door in. And the inside is painted as well. Granted, it's just gray, but it's pretty cool. So you could, you know, play and have guys inside the building as well as on the roof, which is kind of cool. And it does have these kind of pieces here, which are black, but they just serve basically as a place where the roof rests. So a couple things about the construction of this building that are kind of cool is that these panels are multi-parts. So these walls are actually double thick, which makes the building really sturdy. It's really heavy. And it gives you a cool design here. So for example, this orange piece is separate from this top piece, which is separate from this piece. They're all sitting on a flat black wall, basically, in the back, to let the black show through. So it's kind of a cool way to do it. It gives it a nice science fiction-y, you know, vibe to it, which is cool. And then, oh, here you can actually see, I'll also point out my mistakes. Putting this together, I kind of gouge that part there, and just some black paint would cover that right up and you would never notice, or it could be battle damage. On the bottom too, we have these rails, so this building actually sits, it's not sitting flat, it's sitting on kind of this framework, which is cool. The other thing to note, I guess, for the whole set is that these are the set that I have is basically a prototype set. It doesn't necessarily reflect the final build quality that you're going to see in the Kickstarter. At least that's what I've been told by the creator, which is cool. So what you're seeing here might not be 100% exactly what you might see in the Kickstarter. It might even be better. All right, so again, the other building is identical, except that we have that roof on here. I actually made this so you could pull this off if you wanted to. You could pull this out, but you know, you might like it different ways. And again, you can see those different parts, the black showing through, which is cool. All right, so those are the small buildings. Let's take a look at the medium buildings. Okay, here are the medium buildings. Again, these are constructed identically, but there are some accent parts or colors that are different, either orange or dark green, depending on the building. So you have some variation in how they are constructed. Same thing here. I didn't, the porch and the steps I didn't glue in, so we could play with them or take them off during a game. This one, the medium building, actually has two doors, one in the front, one in the back. And it has a stair access, sorry, a ladder access inside. But you can see, just like the small building, it has a set or a ladder to get up on the roof for roof access, and the windows. So I really like these, and even though these are identical buildings, you can see by having the short entryway forward or the long entryway forward, putting on the cover, and the porches can make these buildings look significantly different from each other, which is kind of cool. All right, next up, let's take a look at the large building. All right, so here we go. We've got the large building here. This one is really quite large. It's very cool. This one has two ladder access points on the outside because it's so big, and one on the inside, as well as lots of windows and doors on the front and back. So this is the door I punched out. This door I actually left in place. I just punched out the little window in the door just for some variation. So that's the large building. Now the cool thing about the large building, you might also want to take a small building and mount it on top and just set it there, and you've got a two-story building right there, which is kind of cool. Otherwise, the roof is large. I mean, it's really big. I've got a Space Marine here, and you can see you could probably fit a whole squad of 20 up there. So it's really roomy. And just like the other buildings, you can lift out the roof and have your troops on the inside if you want to, which is kind of cool. So there you go. That's the large building. Alright guys, so there you go. That's a look at the cool building set, again from the Laser Terrain company, Laser Terrain Co. I really like this. With 40K and some other science fiction games, this stuff will fit in perfectly. I brought out the Mars mat to kind of show an alien environment and how seamlessly these kind of just fit in, even to a brightly colored mat, which is nice. The other nice thing is these buildings are nice and big, so they're going to be giving us some line of sight blocking terrain. So for example, you know, it's taller than a dreadnought. Even a rhino can hide behind it without any problem. And line of sight blocking terrain is particularly important for players of Warhammer 40K 8th edition, because line of sight rules are kind of crazy. So that's very nice. I can see this used for a lot of games, not just Warhammer, Infinity, Alien vs. Predator, pretty much any kind of 28mm science fiction game would be appropriate here. Necromunda you could play on this. It's pretty cool. So we look forward to using this in our battle reports, so I'm sure you'll be seeing more of this terrain in the future. I'd like to thank Laser Terrain Co. for the samples. It's very nice of them to send this. And you guys should check out their Kickstarter. I'll leave a link down below to their website and the Kickstarter page if you guys are interested to go check them out, and if you like it, pick up a set for yourself. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and keep on wargaming.